Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. I'm so happy to be here with you today, and I'm so happy you're watching and listening. I have a great show planned for you, as usual, and I'm looking forward to sharing my ideas with you and everything that comes through. I'm a psychic medium as well as a spiritual life coach, and I use both of those things in different ways to help people create their best, most unique, awesome, inspired life. It's my passion to help people create their best lives. Every week on the show, I take a caller or two and give you a nice coaching tip. And today's coaching tip is on a very big one that we all have experienced. I'm sure of it. I haven't met anyone who hasn't experienced this yet. And it's on transforming self-doubt. Have you ever had an opportunity come up and you've passed on it because you weren't sure if you could do it? Have you had a dream or a goal and you keep talking about doing this someday, but you never really get to it? It doesn't seem to happen. Maybe somebody invites you to do something special or important, something you may have never done before, and you'd kind of like to do it, but you still don't do it. These are all symptoms, signs of self-doubt. And self-doubt comes through in so many different ways. It can come through with procrastination. It can come through with excuses. We might question ourselves. What is it? We don't know anything. How can we do this? We might avoid things. We might have outright fear and just know we're just scared and we're not going to do it, and that's all there is to it. We might have that self-critical voice in our heads that tells us every single reason, of which there are so many, of reasons why we won't do something and we can't do something and we shouldn't do something. Self-doubt is a horrible thing, really, because it stops us from moving forward. It stops us from living our life fully and completely. But if we understand where it's coming from, where the self-doubt is coming from, why it's there, what the reasons are, we can transform it and we can make it move into action instead. I had amazing self-doubt when I was given the opportunity to do this radio show last year. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I have the time. I've had some experience with radio, but never doing a whole show by myself. I mean, my goodness, think about that for a second. I don't know anything about the technology. How is this going to work? What would I talk about? What would people want to hear me speak on? You know, who are these people and what would they want? Now, when you hear all these signs of self-doubt that are in my head, and you can hear the excuses and the negative self-talk, and they all come down, always self-doubt comes down to feeling not good enough. We aren't good enough. It may be for logical reasons, we just don't know enough, but whatever it is, it turns into we're not good enough. You may have had some of those conversations as well in your head. And when I looked at my self-doubt to see where it was coming from, what it was, I could see that that belief of not being good enough was just ingrained. Probably comes over time. We have experiences and we just start believing we're not good enough. This stops us from trying anything new. And life is all about new things. We're not born with all the skills and knowledge we need to do everything in life. We're just not. It's impossible. So if you think about that, could you imagine if you were, then it would be kind of a boring life because you'd already know everything. So life is really more about learning as we go, figuring things out, trying things, and not limiting ourselves in what we can create. So looking at my self-doubt from my radio show last year, moving forward, it's not necessary to eliminate it, but it is to accept it. I want to accept it, that self-doubt is a part of my life. Okay, and I know people are going, oh no, we want to get rid of it. Well, not necessarily, because if you understand where it's coming from, it can really help you. I feel like self-doubt is actually essential to our life experience because it helps us look at things and then learn how to make conscious choices about what we want to do. Self-doubt is actually there to protect us. It's there to protect us from hurting, getting hurt, being criticized. It's there to just help us out in different ways. And if you can think of it that way, that it's there to protect you, then you can use it and transform it and make it into something. So in my not thinking I have the knowledge to do a radio show, I didn't know how to present myself on radio or video for that matter, but the people who work at this station, who own this station, are actually very, very nice people. And they told me how to do everything. They told me how to do everything. They're so encouraging and nice. You can't go wrong with that. You just can't. I had had some voiceover training a long time ago, but in going through my doubts, I had kind of ignored that. I thought it was inconsequential. It's really not, because any experience can help. But it did point out that sometimes when I'm looking at things, I only pick up on thoughts and ideas that support my belief system, whether or not it's correct. And that I didn't have any knowledge was not really correct, because I did have some. Not having anything to say. I didn't think I had anything to say. What could I talk about? Well, I've been teaching workshops and lectures for many years now, many years, on all sorts of spiritual and inspirational topics. I've been doing this a long time, so of course I have things to say. So can you see how my doubts actually led me to clarifying my concerns? I could see what my fears were, what my issues were. And I could recognize that even though I might not know everything, I could figure it out. I could get help. I could ask people. I could learn. I could trust that it's going to work out exactly like it's supposed to. And even if I'm nervous and scared or whatever it is, I'm going to go for it. I learned how to transform that self-doubt into action. I don't get rid of the self-doubt. I learn from it instead. I figure out what it is it's trying to tell me. Figure out how self-doubt is trying to protect me from getting hurt or criticized. So I accept that it's there, and I do whatever it is anyway, to the best of my ability. Life is all about experiencing, learning, growing, having fun. If our doubts actually stop us from moving towards a dream or a goal or experiencing something really cool, then we're not living our life fully and completely. It stops us from having a fulfilling life. So what kind of dream or goal do you have? What does that doubting voice tell you? What excuses are going through your head as to why you can't do something? They're all pointing to how you think you're not good enough. Figure out what this voice is telling you, because it'll tell you what you need to look at. Whether it tells you things that are true, because I learned some of the things I thought were true really weren't true. You can learn it. You can figure it out. You can get help. Maybe you're just scared of doing something new because you've never done it before. Well, do it anyway. Who cares? I can tell you, actually, right now, here's a little personal thing. I have something going on tomorrow, and I am scared to death about it. I have so many doubts going through my head, and I made the conscious choice that I am going to step into it. I'm going to step into that fear, and I'm going to trust it's going to work out just perfectly. So I'm hoping next week I can tell you it works really well, because as you can see, I'm a little bit nervous about it. But how would I know how it's going to come out unless I try it? If I don't try it, I might regret it. I think, oh, why didn't I do that? It might have been fun. It could have been, at least, the very least, an interesting experience. The chance for success for me and you is probably a lot higher than we give ourselves credit for. So we have to recognize that. So just remember that self-doubt is all about not feeling good enough. That it's there to protect you. We've all been in this place. We've all felt self-doubt. We've all thought we're not good enough in our own ways. You're not alone in that. So just be brave. Step out there. Let people see your love. Let people see your light so you can share it with the world. It's a beautiful thing. The self-doubt is there to teach you. So let it teach you, and just learn from it and go for it. Don't let self-doubt stop you from creating the life you want to have. Just don't. It's worth the experience just to try it. Take that self-doubt and transform it. Use it so you can create your best, your most unique, your most awesome life. And that is my coaching tip of the day. A favorite one, I must say, I think I could probably put that in a whole chapter of a book, because this is so pertinent to so many people. If you want to reach me, you can reach me at psychicmediumcolleen.com, as well as on Facebook, Medium Coach Colleen Vanderzyden. And I always love to hear from you, so feel free to say hi. You don't even have to tell me anything. But you can tell me about your self-doubt. I wouldn't mind that. Then we'll all feel better about our own, because we can share it together. We are going to move on to our first caller today, and it is Laura from California. Laura, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing great tonight. Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, yeah, it's my pleasure. My daughter's name is actually Laura, so it's cool to talk to a Laura. Is there something in particular I can help you with tonight?
Okay, well, maybe if there is a message from anyone on the other side for me, and then it would kind of be maybe job searching related, because I'm job searching and I'm wondering kind of what field I'll land in, or, which one I'll take.
Okay, do you have some options at this point?
Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
good. So that'll be fun to see. I do have a woman who steps in actually with you right now. And this is a woman, I have to say, I like her right away. I feel like she's somebody who is one to take action, somebody who is not afraid to tell people what they think as well. She actually feels very motherly, grandmotherly to me, and she does come across with a bit of a direct personality. You know, she'll say what she thinks and she'll let you know. Do you have a grandmother who's like that?
Yes.
Okay. I like her. I have to say I like her because you know where you stand with her, don't you? There's definitely a cool feeling with her of wanting to be there for other people, to want to support other people, to make sure she's lifting them up as high as can be. I do get some good expectations with her as well, making sure that people are good people, that people do the responsible things. She actually tells me you are quite responsible, and you've always been pretty good about taking care of the things you're supposed to take care of. You know, she gives me the impression you are a hard worker. Have you just completed schooling or training or something?
No. Just transferring from another job that I was with for a couple years.
Okay. And are you a hard worker like she says? Because she's given me the impression you really are responsible.
Yes. Yes,
okay.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. And now I want to ask you this. Did you leave your job on your own terms, or were you let go?
The program is ending, so there's no more funding for it.
Okay. Yeah, those are always interesting things, aren't they, when that happens? Because I was just getting a feel of the shifting and not being sure exactly which direction to head in. And as she's talking about that, she's given me the impression you actually have your heart set on a certain area, that you have some options in mind that you're already looking at, that you're already thinking about. And she gives me the impression you've applied for a couple of things already. Have you done that?
Yes.
Okay. And is one of them a little bit more direct, working with people? I feel one being more direct, working with people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That doesn't mean take that one. Okay. I'm clarifying what I'm doing for you.
Yeah, you're cutting out a little, so I don't want my voice to mess up what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay, that's too bad. I hope it's not my connection here. There's something about getting the feeling of one working more with people, and I get another one, and that one actually, I have to say, does feel more exciting, more a little bit more of a challenge from what she's talking about. Not in a bad way. I don't want it to sound like it's going to be overwhelming or anything like that. It just sounds like there's a little bit more of a challenge. Another position I'm feeling doesn't seem to fit you as well, and I'm not really sure why. Is another position that you've been looking at one that is more, how do I want to put this? I feel like more office work, like you're set aside from people as much. Yeah?
Yes, it's just all numbers. It's accounting, and I'm not sure about that one.
Okay, good, because that's not the one I'm so sure about either. Because the one with more people, I don't know how many you've applied to, but I've got 2 going right now. But the one with more people feels better for you. I do get a little bit of a feeling of you're not sure if you have a chance at that job. Are you not quite as qualified?
It would be like a little bit more work than I'm used to.
Yeah, a little more challenge then, huh? Yeah. But you know what? I have to say, if you have the opportunity for that one, that feels nice to me. I'm not about to tell you what to do, okay? I don't want to tell you what to do. You should decide for yourself. But that one feels nicer to me just because it has more of a challenge. And it seems like you really like talking to people. And she's telling me you're really good at talking to people and giving them direction, you know, in a gentle way, that kind of thing. And so she does give me the impression that that's a good position for you. The other one with the numbers, that makes my stomach feel weird. You know, now sometimes, of course, we have to take jobs that aren't, you know, the right ones. Yeah. Of course, you know this. But if you have the choice, go with the one that feels the best for you, because that seems to be the one that's more fulfilling. She tells me that you're not about to make a decision without thinking things through all the way, that you've always been very good about doing that. You've been very good about weighing the pros and cons. You have no problem doing hard work with a job that is not the best the exciting job, you have no problem doing that because you always do a good job.
Yeah.
She tells me no matter what you do. So she actually gives me the impression you will make the right choice, and I actually do feel you have a choice. So that is good. Okay. So
Great.
it's not like I'm not convinced that you only have one option. I feel like there's more than that. So keep doing whatever you're doing and keep looking at things because those two that I'm feeling, I don't know. They just feel like they both could work. The one with the more people feels better to me, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that was so nice talking to you.
Thank you so much.
You have fun and good luck with figuring that all out and deciding what to do. But I know you'll do the right thing because she said so.
Yeah. Thank you so much for everything.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Okay.
And that was Laura in California. And it's always so nice to talk to people from all over the world and all over the country just to see what's going on and just to connect and say hi. So we're going to move on now to Angela in Texas. Angela, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm assuming you're not near the flooding then.
Oh, no. We've got a few rain showers, but the worst we had is we're running out of gas.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because I heard everything was shut down. Yeah, that's right. Well, hopefully this all resolves soon and things can get back to a little bit more normal for as best they can, I guess. How can I help you tonight?
Well, I don't know where to start.
Okay.
How can I?
We can go
Where
with
you going to?
I can connect with somebody on the other side if you want and see if there's messages or if you have something in particular you just want me to check in. Sorry?
It was breaking up.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have to check my stuff. Okay, I'm just going to push this in a little bit more and just see if that has anything to do with it. Maybe it's the atmosphere. We'll blame it on that. So I was going to say that we could do some kind of mediumship reading where I could check in with somebody on the other side, or you could just give me something you're concerned about, and I can give you my impressions, whatever is good for you.
Well, I've got. I'm working on divorce. I'm working on moving. I'm working on allegations against me with CPS. So you name it, I've got it.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, that's a whole bunch of stuff there you've got going. Okay, so right away I have to say what I'm feeling from the other side here and from wherever is the feeling of self-care comes into my head immediately.
Recent death.
Oh, my goodness. So much stuff there for you. Okay, let's see what we've got going. I've got a gentleman on the other side, and I don't know if that's the person who's passed in your life, but I do have a gentleman on the other side. I have to say, he comes through with a little bit of grumpiness. Okay, I get a little. Okay, you know who I'm talking about. He feels like he, I don't know. He gives me a little gruffness. Let's just stick with that.
Mm-hmm.
A little grumpy. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. I want to do that to him. And there's a feeling too with him of the grass is always greener, and the things along the line of somebody else always has something else. I'm a little bit of a victim feel as well. So there's a little of that going on with him. And as I touch in with him, he's telling me that sometimes people aren't the way they seem. Okay, he gives me the impression, even though he comes across as a gruff one, that he does have a lot of love inside him, and he's actually very sensitive, even though I know he drove people crazy. Did he drive people crazy?
No, he's pretty sweet and hermit.
Okay. That makes sense to me. It's more the gruff stuff that drives the people crazy, because I think sometimes people don't understand him, and I think they don't understand where he's coming from. Okay? So I do like that sensitive side that is in there for him. And as he's stepping in, he is talking about Okay, he gives me the impression he did a lot of manual hard work at some point in his life. I just want to show you that for a second. He's also talking about that self-care that I had mentioned previously, because he's saying that with everything that's going on in your life right now, he gives me the impression your head is just spinning. You've got so much happening. You're trying to keep a balance. You're trying to do what's right. And he's telling me that just to stick to your guns of what you know, what can be. Not to feel, try not to let things get to the point in your life that you become very emotional. Because when we become emotional, too emotional, we get a little bit illogical and a little irrational. And it's hard to think clearly when the emotions are running high. And I understand you have a lot of stuff happening. So I can understand also having a lot of emotions. Okay. So I'm not telling you not to feel them, but to make sure that you can somehow find a way to get out of them, to take care of yourself. Stand in your power there. Stand in your power for what you know is right, okay? Even with these allegations that are going on, when I touch into that, I don't feel that they're true, okay? I'm not feeling that. I'm feeling like somebody's trying to get back at you, and I think somebody's trying to be a jerk. Would that be the case?
That's what I pretty much got. Now,
that would be my feeling.
I figured he's being drove crazy being told about the grandbaby because it was my mom that just passed.
Okay. And well, there's definitely some feelings of wanting you to, take some, it's hard to meditate when we have a lot of crap going on in our lives, but take some breaths and just breathe, okay? Just get back at yourself and be as comfortable with yourself as possible. He's also talking about making sure you're taking the high road. Don't try to turn around and get back at somebody for whatever they're doing towards you, okay?
It's not worth it, yeah.
Yeah, it's not. And I can't see you doing that, just from this brief conversation with you, with the feelings I'm getting. I can't see you doing that. I can see your frustration, and I understand that fully and completely. And I can see that it seems as though it's never going to end as well. It seems like this is just going to go on forever. And he's telling me it's not going to go on forever, so to just bide your time. Have you heard the phrase about compartmentalizing things, where you take something that's going on in your life that just can overwhelm you and just kind of setting it aside and focusing on different parts of your life instead? Because they give me that feeling.
Like prioritizing.
Yeah, and trying hard to set stuff aside just so that it doesn't affect you. Because when you've got a lot of stuff going on, it'll affect every aspect of your life, not just the parts that are pertaining to that. So you want to make sure you can kind of set it aside and do other things. Now, if you have a new baby around you, that's a perfect way to get out of your head. Because you can spend so much time there just talking to the baby and just having fun with the baby. And it's so peaceful. So things like that. Okay. And that works for me because they're so young, but they're fun and enthusiastic and all of that stuff. And so if you have something like that, you can do. I'm also getting the impression, too, I'm wondering if you do enough exercise, if you're doing enough walking and getting outside to kind of get rid of some stress.
I've got a disease with my back, and so I've been trying to do some more exercises and stuff, but I'm limited. So I'm technically full disabled and was told I'd never have any children after cancer, and so she was our little surprise and blessing.
Oh, how fun. Well, that's good. That's nice. Well, good. But I'm glad to hear that you're doing something, because you aren't just sitting all the time. Just the simple walking as much as you can, just doing other things. I'm actually being shown some weightlifting. Do you do any light weights with your arm? Like a pound or two weights?
That's called picking up the kid.
I know it is, isn't it? You have to be careful with that, though, because you know how that'll go back. But I do want to tell you, I am seeing the light weights because I actually want to lift them over my head in different ways, in different places, and go behind my head as well to strengthen up the triceps too, besides the biceps and all of that, to make them a little more balanced. So there is mention of that. So as he keeps talking about the self-care, he gives me the impression you're a very strong-willed person and that you're a very strong person too. So
that has to do do with I took and lost 160 pounds, and recently I've gained a lot, and so I've been mentally getting back in the head going, I've got to start losing it again.
Yeah, okay. And that explains some of the question with the exercise, too. Yeah, you know, because you're a strong person, you can do that. I feel good about that. I do want to make sure I say that. I feel good that you'll be able to do that. And there is a caution coming in from the other side to make sure you don't get too pushy, pushing back at the other people who are getting on your case. Not to get too pushy, but still stand up for yourself. So you've got to make sure you stay clear when you do that. So there is a mention of that as well.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So very nice. There's a lot of love coming from the other side for you. I do want to say that too. I get the impression you have a lot of support from the other side. So feel free to talk to them, your spirits over there, and let them know you want their help. And to let them know they can step in as much as possible.
My daughter will sometimes say she sees them.
Oh, yeah, the kids, they see spirits all the time, and they'll feel them, and they'll hear them, and everything. So pay attention when she says those things. Okay, So thank you so much for calling today. Good luck with everything. I will be sending you lots of love and prayers so you can get through this time. Okay?
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Good luck. And that was Angela from Texas. Yeah, it's amazing the things that happen in our lives that we have no control over, but we can control how we act and we can control how we respond. So this week, remember, if you have those self-doubts, and if you don't, then congratulations, but I bet you'll have some here and there. If you have self-doubts, just move through them. See what they're trying to teach you. See what the gift is within it. And then just do it anyway. Just live your life fully and completely. Understand it, learn, and grow. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this was Creating an Inspired Life. I hope you have the most wonderful, awesome week, and I'm looking forward to talking to you next week. You can find me at psychicmediumcolleen.com, as well as on Facebook, Medium Coach Colleen Vanderzyden. Have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.